Hi, how you doing? Well, today's Christmas Eve, and a lot of you gave us such a great response to the Pasta Vazul video that we made, and some folks asked for other videos. So I figured let's try doing a Christmas item, and it's going to be called baked calamari. You might know it as calamari. You've probably ordered it in restaurants fried, and you've had it with tomato sauce on the side. My family, my grandfather came from Italy when he was 19. He passed on the customs to my father. My father passed them on to me. And one of them was we did not have any type of meat for Christmas Eve. We would have fish products. Some of you have probably heard of the Feast of the Seven Fishes. That's custom in Italian dining. So the first thing we need to do is clean the calamari. I use these large ones now. I started using them when we were out in Vegas. My dad used to use the ones that are they were about that big, and then they would shrink down to about that big when they were done. These here, as long as you cook them right, cook them low and slow and let them go, they will be tender also. And then there's a lot more bang for the buck once you get them stuffed. So what I'm doing now is I'm running my thumb along the back of it, and I'm trying to loosen it all the way around because I'd like to get it out in one piece if I could, just like that. So now that I have all the insides out in one piece, I want to cut it off at the head. It's right here, and this is garbage. The key things with the head is we need to remove the eyeballs, because there is a little bead in there for the eyeball itself that we need to get out, and then we need to get the beak out. So the way I do the eyeballs is I do it underwater, because there's a dark substance that comes out when it gets punctured. I don't know if you can see it fill the water there, but I do it underwater like that. So then when I grab it and pull it out, the dye stays in the water. That. Okay, so the eyeballs have been removed. It's nice and clean. Now we're going to remove the beak. You go in there and you come in from behind and you force it out, and that's the beak right there. And you throw that out, and we'll keep that, and we're going to take the skin off of that, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. So first though, before we take the skin off, we want to wash the inside out really well. And sometimes there's a lot of little soft stuff, innards, and then there's also this, it's a cartilage backbone that runs along the back of the fish, and that needs to come out also. You need to make sure you get that out. Now with your finger, just go in there and just kind of scrape the walls free of some of the organs and stuff that are in there. Make sure you get it cleaned out really well. Rinse it out several times. And the last thing you need to do is take the skin off. If you grab it and you pull it, it'll start to peel. And then you just kind of peel it off. And then it'll show all that beautiful white calamari that you're used to seeing that you get in the store when it's already cleaned. Just like that. This off by the bottom, and it's good to go. We're going to leave them just like that whole. We're going to soak them in buttermilk overnight, and then we're going to stuff them in the morning. Let's go over the ingredients that we're going to use to stuff the calamari. We have the beautiful calamari that I cleaned yesterday, soaked in buttermilk overnight. They're all ready to go. I do my own breadcrumbs. I get Italian bread and I let it get a little stale, and then I make my own breadcrumbs. We're going to put some raisins in there. We use extra virgin olive oil to add moisture so that when they start to cook and tighten up, they don't pop from the breadcrumbs inside. Some onion, Parmesan Reggiano, and some of our own garlic. So those are the main ingredients. Also, there's some spices and seasonings that go in. We'll have that on the ingredient list if you guys would like to try and make it. So our next step is to go ahead and stuff them up. All right, so let's get started with stuffing them. So this is what the breadcrumbs are going to look like once you get them all chopped up. One of the things that I didn't have was the Italian parsley, but there is Italian parsley in there. You can see the raisins have been added. So all the ingredients that we have on the list are in here. Next thing I want to do is I want to put some extra virgin olive oil in there because I need to add some moisture to the breadcrumbs. They are fresh breadcrumbs and they aren't real dry, but you also have to put a little bit more moisture, and I do that with extra virgin olive oil so that the fish don't pop when they start to dry out. All right, looks pretty good. It's got a nice consistency now to where it's, you can see that it's gonna, you know, stick to each other. There's enough moisture. So let's go ahead and stuff a couple of these. So you want to take the calamari and you open them up, and then you just slowly put the breadcrumbs with all the seasonings and the raisins in there. And you don't want to pack it real tight, because if you pack it really tight, then that's when they're going to pop when the fish starts to cook. So you want to just make sure you got it all the way down. And like I say, don't overstuff them. Once you get them to this point, then you can grab a toothpick and throw a toothpick in there to hold it. Just like that. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move it to our baking dish. I have a little Pam sprayed on there. We're going to lay them all out. Once we get them laid out in there, we're going to take the heads and we'll put the heads around. And then we're going to put the breadcrumbs, and I'll show you that when I finish it off. So we have all the calamari lined up in here. They're all stuffed. They're not overstuffed. And you see the toothpicks have them closed. We have the heads around. So the next thing we're going to do is just put a light coat of extra virgin olive oil over the top. The thing that we don't want these babies to do is dry out. So we're going to do everything we can to try and keep the moisture in there. So a little extra virgin olive oil over the top. And then we're going to go ahead with the breadcrumbs, because we want that to get a nice little breadcrumb crust on there. And we have the raisins also. So we're going to put some of that on the top. And then some of the chicken stock we'll put in the corners. You only need about a half a cup. We're just trying to add a little moisture. This is chicken stock that I made myself. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to sprinkle some of your favorite nuts on top. I'm going to put pecans on here. You could put pecans, you could put walnuts. And then we're going to cover it with aluminum foil, and we're going to put it in the oven that we have set for 250, and we're going to go low and slow. All right, so the calamari is out of the oven. It was 3 hours at 250 degrees, and then I took the top off and I allowed it to brown a little bit on the breadcrumbs. So here's my brother Mike. He got into town. Go ahead and give it a try.
Smells great.
See how it is. When was the last time you had some?
I had this back when we were in Las Vegas at a Christmas party. It's very tender.
Alright. That's the key, because it's such a large piece of calamari.
Oh, dude, it's good.
Is it?
Good. Yes, very good. Tender.
All right.
I love the breadcrumbs are nice and moist. You can taste it.
All right. Good deal.
It's very good.
So there you go, folks. If you want it, you know where to get it.